Hello, everybody. This is my integrative project for MAD studies, autism, and neurodiversity. And I'm wearing the wig because as I was going over and trying to integrate the material, I the theme I came up with was celebrate the differences. And with all the different areas we studied with neurodiversity, the differences in everybody's brain, which is similar to the autism in that it, has a different spot on the spectrum that whether it be neurotypical or autistic, and everyone, everybody is different. Everybody has different ways of learning, different ways of knowing, different ways of thinking, different ways of moving, different ways of taking things in, different ways of feeling, different ways of emoting. And that's the main message that I've gotten through this discourse with critical psychology as well. And I am not an artist, as you can see, but I decided to just let that go. And, by doing this art, I was able to integrate everything I learned. And rather than, it took me a long time to get started on the project because I felt like since we did have an opportunity to do it in a different way, that old way of thinking, like I'm not good enough. I'm not an artist. So I just went for it. And so I came up with Celebrate the Differences. And then I went to a quote by, I have two quotes on here by one of the authors that we discussed, Carol Millman, and this really stuck out to me. All sentient beings deserve to have their needs met and their lives enjoyable. All sentient beings should be able to be themselves. All sentient beings should be treated with kindness and respect. Carol Millman. And this spoke to me a lot in all the discourse that we went through, whether it be critical psychology and the MAD studies, the studies of mentally ill people, and that's me. And then we go to the Mad Hatter, and thinking about that, I was thinking about how popular Alice in Wonderland and the Mad Hatter and the Treasure Cat are in portraying this idea of madness. And everybody is able to welcome that in a show, is able to take in the madness of the Mad Hatter and the Treasure Cat as a positive, fun, and enjoyable experience. Yet in our world, if you can see, when we care to be a little bit different, it can disempower us in our life, and we can be judged and treated differently. And so that's part of me wearing this pink wig, which is my daughter's, and she's choosing to be herself in this world and embrace the anime community and culture, which is a great example of a culture that chooses to express their differences. And it was a pretty amazing experience to go take part at the anime expo, which is another whole project I could have done to represent and integrate this material. And next we'll go to this over here, where I have all these four people, different sized people, trying to fit in the same box. And as you can see, they don't fit. One fits perfectly, but the others don't. And that just goes back to this idea of when I think about the ABA studies with autism and how autistic people are treated, and being treated in that inhumanistic way, not very not very nice way, and getting them to disempowering them of who they really are. And we got "Move Your Body, You Got All You Need," which is a quote from a song that Fish, that the band I love, covers, called "Golden Age." And what that really represents is, with the artistic community and this the idea of sensory, how they learn and how they take in sensory stuff really intensely, and their movements um, and so with dance and movement, we can really learn a lot about ourselves, our world. And so it's quite saddening to punish autistic people for the way they move in the world. And this goes to another quote by Miss Carol Millman. She says, "Things are larger than reward and punishment: creative language, storytelling, and music." And that again speaks to me. And there are other ways to maybe teach autistic people to be in the world rather than to try and change them. We can think about empowering them and celebrating them for who they are and what they have to teach us. And then let's see. And then in the corners, I have just the different spectrums of different ways we feel. We feel pain and we feel pleasure. There's dark and there's light, and we got the sun and the moon. And to really embrace the whole spectrum of the human being and the humanness. Like, what does it mean to be human? It means we're all different. We're all the same, but we're all different. And to really celebrate that in everything we do, in our institutions, in our homes, in our social circles, to really celebrate that. And I have another story that I went to the board meeting of the softball league that my daughter's from, and I've gotten really bad feelings about that, and they just are really disencouraging to the whole of the community, and are really after these really athletic girls, and kind of don't leave any room for the other girls that are growing up in our world and our society. And I've heard these really horrible things being said by these men, these dads, like, "Oh yeah, I was gonna tell her parents she needs to lose some weight," and "Oh yeah, this girl sucks." And at this age, it's really odd. And this is the community I'm putting my daughter in, because I wanted, I love softball and she likes to play, and so that's really been a challenging thing for me to take in. And so in the light of doing this assignment, it's helped me to understand that it's okay to not be this skinny athletic girl. I feel like they're trying to put all these girls into this box, and I think maybe they should have a separate league for the girls that want to improve, want to play, want to have fun. But there should be room for everyone, and it doesn't seem to be happening like that right now. Anyway, here is here it says, "There's beauty and brilliance in all," and that's just another way of me expressing this idea. And we got more power, more greed, no, more love, more acceptance. And then this idea of peer acceptance and peer support, I think, is really important. We heard it over and over again in the discourse about how people just really, we all desire to be seen, like really seen. And so rather than stuff everyone with pills and get into that paradigm, the prescription paradigm that we're in, that I'm in, that I'm a part of, and I'm hoping, to more think about how can we heal from our pains, our traumas, in a way that we're seeing people, we're meeting people where they're at, we're empowering them, rather than throwing a pill at them, because again, I'm in that paradigm deep in it, in the insurance and being with a doctor that doesn't support me getting off medication, but instead saying that people like me are mentally ill and need to be on medication. And I don't buy that. And I think that's about it for now. I didn't even get into my notes. Let's see, we're going on 10 minutes here. I think I'm going to end with that. I think after 10 minutes it gets a little much. I could go a little bit deeper into this, but my integration of our project is how can we celebrate the differences of our world, our brain differences, our neurological differences, our mental differences. How can we be well rather than be put into these boxes? We don't know. We don't want to be put into a box. There's many boxes out there, and thank you. I hope it's been a wonderful semester, and I'm really grateful for Nick and all his wisdom and brilliance and intelligence, and all of you as well. I love you guys. Thanks.